the thing about, when you don't take a vacation very often, the thing about that is that when you do, man, it's just like, just fucking like, like a 2 week stretch, or like a 2 week massage. Just feels like everything's like loose. What's going on, everybody? What's going on? It's fucking hurricane season. And you're in for another fucking Pupils Life episode, man. What's going on? It's Halloween. It's not hurricane season. I mean, it is, but it's not really affecting me very much. I am I'm wearing my raincoat that I took from an old job. And it is Halloween. It's Halloween night that I'm recording this on. And I am, oh shit, I didn't put my timer on. It's Halloween fucking night. People are out celebrating, man. I had to be at work. And I saw people celebrating on my way home. And that was my celebration, I got to see a group of 3 guys walking around. One of them was in a dinosaur costume. And I'm pretty sure I saw the same guy or just another guy in the same dinosaur costume on my way to work. So it was one of those like cosmic sort of fucking, like, what's God trying to tell me right now? Is there a meteor that's about to fucking strike the earth and I have to, find somewhere to hide? Where does one hide if a meteor strikes? You go to fucking, go to like a Barnes and Noble and fucking just read to the end of days. That would be something if I just, I think I told this same story the last podcast, but with the Jim Carrey story about him being in Hawaii and getting the alert of the super volcano and the alert telling him basically like, you've got 10 minutes until you are extinct. Like, what would it be like if you just got that fucking notification? Just like instead of an Amber Alert, it's like an end of the world alert. And it's just like incoming meteor spotted by NASA will collide with Earth in T-minus 30 minutes, and you're just like fucking, you get it, you see it late, right? So it's been 8 minutes since you got it. So you're like, fuck, I got 22 minutes now. And then what do you do? Like, I don't fucking know what I would do. I would probably just like fucking, what would I do, man? Just go out on my bicycle, dude. That's how I would go out. Would just be like, fucking, I'm gonna ride my bike, the equivalent of that 2012 movie scene with John Cusack driving the fucking limousine. That's what I would do, but just on my bicycle, like trying to join the fucking deer that are running around at the creek trail thing by my apartment. It's Halloween, man. And I saw I saw some families and kids celebrating, and I saw some posts on social media of more families and more kids celebrating. So, that's always a good sign. Is like, all right, people aren't letting this COVID thing, you know, fuck their tradition up, right? It's like, fuck their kids up is more like it. Um, kids still want to get fucking dressed up and go a little bit wild on Halloween, get a sugar rush and then have a headache the next day. Get like a fucking cavity and then your parents are like, "What? Why does our kid have a cavity? He's only one." But dude, I don't know when the last time that I celebrated Halloween was. It probably was like high school, because I remember the last time that I was going to celebrate Halloween, and I might be mixing I might be forgetting. It was with my ex-girlfriend, and I was all dressed up. I dressed up as the fucking sheriff guy, the cop from fucking Narcos. And I had my Mexican friend Marcelo dressed up as the Mexican cop, right? Got the fucking stash and everything, dude. I even had a handcuffs. And then, unforeseen events came up, and we had to, my girlfriend and I had to stay home, and so I didn't get to go to the party. That should be the album title of my life, dude. I didn't get to go to the party. I didn't get to go to the fucking party, man. And so when was the last time that I celebrated Halloween? Dude, the thing about doing your own podcast is that you got to do the podcast. Like, the thing about doing it on your own is that you have to do the podcast and make fucking mental timestamps and write down like, oh, dude, that would be a good title for the episode. Like I didn't get to go to the party. But I wish I had a fucking producer that was just like, I got you, Nick. I got you. I didn't get to go to the party. And but the last time that I celebrated Halloween was that, and I'm trying to think of what I did, because I had a girlfriend for the Halloween after that. But I don't know what we did, man. What did we do? October 31st? Fucking, it was right before November. Right before Thanksgiving. Dude. It's escaping me, But, I mean, it must not have been something special, right? And, but I do miss, like, well, no, I don't think I've ever enjoyed Halloween. Like, it's always been like stressful to think of a fucking costume, right? Because I've always been afraid of participating in life. And less so now, right? I just haven't had, like, I just don't actually now, dude. It's fucking last year I was invited to 2 Halloween parties, and one of them was by my friend who helped me make the trailer for my book, my memoir. And he's like in his early 30s, and it was more of a like young adult professional party, which I am, dude. But I was just like, dude, he's the only guy that I'm gonna know there. And I got intimidated. I should have gone, dude. That would have been fucking, like, I wanted to go, but then of course my coworkers, who I didn't even like, were like, oh, we're gonna go to fucking this guy's house and just like get fucked up, dude. And I was still smoking weed at the time, and so I was like, dude, let's fucking get fucked up, dude. And I didn't even end up going to that because one of my other coworkers, who I wasn't getting along with at the time, ended up fucking showing up to the place where we met before that. In any case, man, growing up, I was afraid to participate. And so it was always like, there was always like an expectation that I wasn't going to dress up because I was the kid that like didn't take things seriously or whatever, or didn't like actually participate. And so I knew that, and I was like, well, then if I do dress up, then it's going to be weird. You know, people are going to be like, why are you're the kid that doesn't dress up for Halloween. And but I remember there was a couple of years in high school that I dressed up. I wore a fucking, like, I dressed up as a bank robber. You know, that's the kind of dressing fucking costumes that I wore, man. Is I just had one of my brother's friends had like a Richard Nixon mask that I put on, and I was like, all right, well, the mask isn't enough. I don't want to be one of those fucking lame, just wears a mask for Halloween guys. And so I put on a leather jacket and a gray hoodie underneath that jacket and some fucking like dark pants. And I was like, dude, I'm a bank robber. I'm the bank robber that killed Peter Parker's dad, if anybody asks. and and then the year before that, I dressed up. Dude, this is like, I was thinking about this at work for some fucking reason. Just how much of an asshole I was when I was in high school to my girlfriend. Because for one Halloween, I was reading Tucker Max's books, and he dressed up as God's gift to women, right? He just put a fucking bow tie on his shoulder, or like a ribbon, I mean, not a bow tie. Or maybe a bow tie. I don't fucking know, because a ribbon is like what you get for winning a fucking contest. And I was like, dude, that's hilarious. That's what I'm gonna be, right? I was just imitating. It was still the imitation phase. I hadn't found my voice. So I was like, I'm gonna dress up as fucking just like that's an easy thing, right? And it's funny and it's like original, even though it's not my original idea. And I still told people that it wasn't my idea, but I had a girlfriend, right? And I went to high school dressed up as God's gift to women. And you know what kind of guy does that? It's like if she had fucking come to school dressed up as God's gift to men, dude. And it's like all the fucking guys are like, you know, like fucking like, I don't know, man. Maybe it's fine. Maybe it's not a big deal because it's fucking Halloween. Who gives a fuck? But she cared. You know, she did care. And I was like, but it's Halloween. I fucking get the, you know, I was that kind of fucking boyfriend, man. I was that kind of piece of shit. So yeah, man, it's Halloween. If you're celebrating Halloween, then good for you. I had to work. I've got to work tomorrow, and I've just got a lot to get done before I go to Cancun. So I'm like, celebration, man. It's time to get some fucking work in and then get some Z's in so that I can, you know, have a healthy fucking awakening tomorrow. I don't want to, it's so clear when you don't get enough sleep. When I don't get enough sleep, it's so obvious to me because I always wake up at least once before like my like final wake up. And on the days where I go to bed, you know, I get up, let's say on a work day, I get up at like 7:30. I try to get 9 hours of sleep, right? And so if it's like midnight and I'm not asleep yet because I've just been rolling around in bed, and I know like it's going to be at least 7.5 hours, so that's like an hour and a half less. I know I'm fucked, right? And on those nights, when I wake up the one time before, I wake up at like 5, and I'm just like, fuck, dude, did I just go to like, did 10 minutes go by? Because I feel more tired after 5 hours of being asleep, you know? And then I look at the fucking clock, which you should never look at the time if you wake up in the middle of the night, because it's going to be so much harder to go to sleep. And I make the mistake and I look at the fucking time and I'm like 5:15, dude. That means I only have 2 hours and 15 more minutes to sleep. And I go to sleep and then I wake up even more tired on my final wake up. And I'm just like in a bad mood, you know, my body aches, sometimes my tonsil aches because it's a little bit swollen. And I just know like, dude, you know, you get a couple hours of like creative problem solving a day. And on the days that I don't get enough sleep, I just know like those 2 hours are gone, man. You know, those 2 hours are non-existent today. So I've just prioritized fucking sleep. You know, maybe if I had somewhere to go, I would be at that party. Uh, you know, and I'm sure, you know, dude, part of the reason I wore this is because it's fucking Halloween, right? And I'm like, all right, dude, I gotta wear something. And but if I ever get invited to Halloween, I'm sure this fucking raincoat will play into my costume. I'll be like a Wes Anderson character or something, you know. And what else is going on, man? People are voting and fucking trying to virtue signal about them voting and then also shame you if you don't vote. Like it's so blatant. Commercials even are fucking shaming you, dude. I was watching a video at work and I got a commercial that said, if you vote, people won't know who you vote for is private, but if you vote is public. Your friends can look up your public voting record. And I was like, that's some smart fucking, you know, ad marketing or whatever, dude, copy or whatever. But it's so manipulative, you know, like, guess what, motherfucker? Like, it doesn't matter who you vote for because nobody will know. So if you fucking want to vote for our side, like, nobody's going to know. But if you don't vote, everyone will know. You know, it's like, who gives a fuck? Who knows if you voted, dude? Who gives a fuck, man? That's what I say, is who gives a fuck, dude? You know, if you voted or didn't, man. It's like, I'm sure there are people out there. I'm sure the Democrats, man. I'm sure if you have a Democrat friend that's like an intense Democrat, he would rather you didn't vote than that you vote for Trump or Republicans, right? Whatever the year is, whatever the opposite side. And so it's like, dude, there's almost like it doesn't hold up, you know, the ad doesn't hold up because it's like, yeah, man, my public voting record is my voting record is public, dude. Some people would rather that I don't vote, you know, because I'm not going to vote for who you want me to vote, man. It's in my DNA to do the opposite of what you tell me to do. So if you tell me to vote for Trump, I'm going to vote for fucking, you know, blue tie, dude. And if you tell me to vote for the blue tie, then I'm going to vote for fucking the red tie, you know? And if you tell me, you know, yeah, that's it. That's the end of that. I was trying to figure out a way to make it like, then I'm gonna vote for Kanye, but there's not a fucking. I don't know what the opposite of Kanye is. Maybe like, what's the opposite? If you were playing a word game and somebody said, say the first word that comes to mind, and they said the opposite of Kanye West, I would say like fucking tree was the first thing that came to my mind. I would say like the opposite of Kanye West is fucking like Taylor Swift. That's the opposite of Kanye West, man, is Taylor Swift, right? And so I don't know, man. People are voting and people are fighting about voting, and violence is happening. There's a fucking, you know, it's Austin is a pretty, you know, like even before the pandemic and everything, people joke in Austin that, you know, you read the news here or you read the newspaper and it's like fucking like 10 more dogs got adopted. It's like a great place, man. And even now during the pandemic, it's, it made the headlines of a newspaper that within the same week there were 2 shootings. And if I lived in like fucking like Detroit, man, it's like it's just every other day there's like multiple shootings. But one of them was near my apartment. And what's kind of like creepy about that, dude, is that I ride my bike, and I know like there are people that are killing each other. They're not looking for me, right? Unless they're just random killings, they're not looking for me. I'm going fast on my bicycle, and I'm just fucking like a tall, lanky guy. I'm gonna create problems for you if you decide to do something. I'm gonna be loud, dude. I might fucking like take one in the gut, but still claw your eyes out. And and at least I like to think that I would. But still, it was like 2 blocks from where I live. And I remember I was sitting outside with the dog, and I was just like reading a fucking book or like just staring out into the sky. And I heard pop, pop, pop. And I was like, all right, dude, that's not just like fireworks. That's not fireworks. That was gunshots. And that sounded like it was like my next door neighbor. And then I read this fucking headline, and it turns out, dude, one guy was killed, one guy was fucking like, what's it called when it's like critical health? And they don't even know who it was, man. It was at the homeless camp. There's a homeless, like a block and a half, the grass in between 2 roads. It's a wide stretch, and there's just like at least a couple hundred homeless people living there in tents. So it's like tent city. And they killed two people at those tents. I'm gonna read the headline because from what I remember, they didn't say that, like they didn't specify if there was a cause. I'll just read this. One man was killed. The fucking headline is "One killed in Southeast Austin shooting. Second homicide in 2 days," police say. One man was killed and another was injured early Monday in a shooting near a homeless camp in Southeast Austin. Officers responded to reports of a man shot near a homeless camp. Police found 2 men with gunshot wounds. The men were taken to a hospital where one died and the other was in critical condition. Police do not know if the men were living at the camp or what prompted the shooting. Dude, Austin's homeless population remains at high exposure to violent deaths. 10% of those analyzed by the statesman in 2015 stemmed from violence that either led to or contributed to a person's death. Fights can involve alcohol and drug use, arguments over sleeping arrangements, or attempts to steal items of value. One of the 28-year-old Terrence Cole of Chicago was killed, and a man with him was injured. At the bar, was waking up. The argument of the shooter with aggressive female whom he was using to push their way through the crowd. The shooter pushing the female. Oh, shit, dude. So, okay. The argument may have been over the shooter being aggressive with a female whom he was using to push their way through the crowd. Terrence Cole and the other male victim objected to the shooter pushing the female. The 3 men continued arguing outside, but then disengaged. As Cole and the man with him walked north on Waller Street, the shooter appeared from behind a parked vehicle and shot them. A witness told police that the man with Cole ran back to the front of the Victory Grill and collapsed. The shooter, police described the shooter as a man in his 20s who is about 5'11" and may have a tattoo under his right eye and another on his left arm. A $1,000 reward is being offered for information leading to the shooter's arrest. Dude, imagine if that was like your side hustle. If your side hustle was to look at fucking like police reports and news reports where they offer like bounties. Because I'm thinking like, all right, dude, how do I get information on the shooter? Because I need that $1,000. How do I get information on a fucking guy with a tattoo on his left arm and one under his right eye? You know, like, but the thing I was getting to is that, you know, I have a rage when I'm on my bicycle, you know, because cars don't respect me. And when you don't respect me, my fucking defense mechanism is to get angry. And so, you know, what if one of those days, whoever shot Terrence Cole is driving his fucking car and I'm like at a red light and I cross in front of him. And he's like fucking, you know, he's like angry. And then I flip him off. And then he fucking follows me. And then fucking pops me in the fucking legs, man. Comes over, gets out of the car, fucking pops me in the head a couple times. And then I'm fucking gone, man. Of course you have to make it about you. But no, man, that's scary shit. And it's also sad that the guy was 28. You know, he had 3 years on me. That's like not even fucking halfway through your life, man. And so now it's just weird, man, you know, riding your bike around at night. It's because I do go through some sketchy fucking like narrow, sort of poorly lit, you know, alley kind of places. And I've had some run-ins with homeless people. You know, I remember my fucking my third. This was like 2 years ago, maybe 2.5 years ago. No, this was 3 years ago. It was the night that I went out with my ex-girlfriend, our second or third date. I got off work and then I go fucking wait at the bus. And there's a guy that gets off the train that just arrived at the station, right? And it came from like a small town 2 hours away. And he looks like he just got out of prison. And he's walking toward me. And I like look over and I keep a fucking, you know, I keep a close eye on the guy. I keep a fucking close eye on the guy. and of course he fucking walks up to me and I don't take my headphones off. I pause my music, right? So this way he doesn't know that I can hear him. But I'm just fucking sitting there and then he like says something to me. And so I fucking take a headphone and I'm like, what? Or like, what did you say? I don't say like, what? I'm just like, what's up, man? And he said, hey, you don't happen to have a phone charger in your bag, do you? And I said like, nah. And that's when I was like, you know, fucking, maybe it's wrong, dude. Maybe it's, I don't know. But I was like, I fucking knew, you know. And my default speaker has changed. All right, that's not the microphone. Okay. We're golden. And so the guy fucking asked me, you know, you got a fucking charger in your bag, dude? And I said at that point, I guess got angry, right? And I was like, listen, man, I don't have anything for you, all right? And then he fucking, you know, gets caught off guard, right? Like, white boy's gonna say that to me? So he fucking, you know, he comes up closer to me. He says, you know, I could just fucking punch you in the face right now and take your bag from you, right? And I was like, fucking like, I you know, obviously I fucking was like, right now I can like fucking say that I was like not scared. I was scared, but I was just like, yeah, man, way to point out the obvious. You know that I could knee you in the balls right now, dude, and fucking gouge out your eyes with my tongue and fucking come inside of your ears, dude. You know? And so then from that point on, I was just like fucking keeping an eye out on the guy. And then at one point I was like, dude, I'm not going to wait for the bus here. I just rode my bike away. Because part of me, I think part of every guy that hasn't proven that he can defend himself is having the thought, after he said, I could just fucking take your shit. I think every guy that hasn't proven himself yet is like, I don't want to walk away from this because then he's going to think that he won. Right. And it's so like I stayed there for a while in that headspace. And I was like, dude, it's not worth it. Who gives a fuck if this guy wins or if he thinks he won? And yeah, man, I don't know. I've only really been in one fight my whole life, unless you count like fucking getting tackled in high school and like shoving each other, And I was with an Uber driver. I probably told this story before, but there was something, there was something fucking carnal about it, something primal, dude. I've been wanting to take the sheepdog response course for like fucking intense self-defense training. They teach you weapons training, like everything, man. And there's just something that about me that wants to like get in a fucking, that's why I trained MMA for a couple years. Excuse me, man. I thought I was leading up to, Mexican against like, the guy that took all of my girlfriends away in high school, death match. But anyway, man, what am I even talking about at this point? It's Halloween, and I've just fucking gotten home from work a little bit ago. And I didn't get to go to the party, dude. I am traveling to Cancun, and Cancun is my hometown, believe it or not. I haven't been back in over 2 years, and I'm going for almost 2 weeks. It's so, dude, the thing about, when you don't take a vacation very often, the thing about that is that when you do, man, it's just like, just fucking like, like a 2 week stretch, or like a 2 week massage. Just feels like everything's like loose. Especially when I go back to Mexico, I just know how to move around better and how to interact. If I go to a restaurant here, I'm like, I'm not gonna fucking whistle at the fucking waiter. I'm not gonna like, hey, fucking, but over the Mexico, you just go in there. You don't even fucking wait for somebody to sit you. You just go up to the chairs, dude, sit down, grab a fucking menu. And then you're like, sí, 3 de carnitas y dos Coca-Colas, 2 de barbacoa y unos frijoles refritos, charros, fucking just like, you just know everything. You don't even look at the menu because you just know what everywhere has. Versus here, it's like, can I get some queso? Some fucking queso. It's better than showing up to a restaurant like a Tex-Mex place here and being like, yeah, we would like to order one order of the queso and 2 Coca-Colas. You know, dude, I hate I hate people that speak one language, but when they speak words that are like bilingual, they say it in the other language. It drives me nuts, man. That's just like, dude, just say it in the language that you're speaking, because an English speaking person does not say queso or Coca-Cola. They say queso and Coca-Cola. You know, you fucking, it's just like, can I have 2 margaritas? Like, shut the fuck up, dude. Just say margarita, you know. Just say, just don't be ashamed, man. You're already appropriating the culture. Just own it. Sometimes I wish that I looked more Mexican, just so that people would fucking walk up to me at my jobs and be like, hola, puedo order dos tacos? And I could just fucking let them run it out and then be like, anything else for you? Just like see their fucking reaction, man. Like, it's happened to me with Mexicans before. All right. You hear them talking. I'll be placing an order, and then fucking I'll be placing an order at like a taqueria, dude, and fucking I'll be placing an order at a taqueria, dude, and the women taking my order are fucking barely speak English, and then they're like, tres para el güerito, and I'm like, dude, I know that you just called me Blondie, you know, and I speak Spanish, and I probably lived more of my life in Mexico than you did. So don't call me güerito, you fucking güerita, dude. You fucking. Yeah, man. It's funny because now when I go back to Mexico, I was in Mexico City last year, and I went to the Lucha Libre. To the Lucha Libre. And they have those little markets outside, right? And there's a lady I was looking for a bottle of water. So I'm like, una botella de agua? And the lady's like, yeah, 10 pesos. And I'm like, okay. And I asked her, you know, can I bring this into the Lucha Libre? And she's like, sí. And and then I pay her, and she's like, aquí está, güerito. And I'm like, dude, I'm not a fucking güerito. You know, I'm not a fucking güerito. I grew up here. Treat me like one of your own, man. I'm not a güerito. Dude, güerito is what you call like a fucking guy that's drunk in the hotel zone of Cancun and just like fucking wearing like a white t-shirt. Just like a plain white t-shirt. Yeah, man. Dude, all of a sudden my stomach started to hurt, man. Just talking about fucking Mexico is like, oh, dude, all the food that I'm gonna fucking diarrhea. What else is going on? So I'm going to Cancun, and it's exciting, man. It's exciting. I'm gonna be doing I don't know how long yet. I'll be there for 13 days, and I'm thinking about doing maybe all those days, but at least a week of just fucking turning my phone off, dude. Just turning it off for a week and giving each other a break, you know, like you've been way too in my fucking head, and I've been like over fucking powering you. Let's just give each other a break for a week and just read, dude. Just be on the beach and just fucking hear the fucking. You know, hear the fact, you know, just like, dude. it's almost like I'm trying to relive my senior year of high school, the summer after my senior year of high school, where I was just fucking my first deep dive into reading and also into Bob Dylan. And just laying on a hammock all day, just fucking. I've had a guy that's happening. Why not toilet blood? You know, just fucking listening to that guy. I'm gonna see my cat, man, Misty, the cat. Actually, that's her right there. That's her fucking. I'm like, that's this guy right here. This gal right here is Misty. My brother took that picture. Yeah, man, it's gonna be a good trip for me. I'm only taking like a couple notebooks with me, and I'm taking a small backpack, right, like a school backpack, because I'm just like, God, this is a time to reconnect. This is a time to reconnect with my roots and myself, man. And I'm also curious, you know, what's gonna happen while I'm gone, right? There's a part of me that's scared to leave my computer here, because what if there's like fucking looters and rioters and just like fucking they take all my writing, you know? Meanwhile, I'm in Mexico, just like, yeah, once in a fucking lifetime, you know, and then I fucking get back here and then all of my writing is gone and I just have like a psychotic break. I think I would actually, if my writing all disappeared tomorrow, I think I would fucking have a psychotic break, man. I don't actually think that, but I don't know. I don't know how I would recover from that. Like, just come home and they took like all my podcast equipment. They took my laptop. They took my fucking, you know, my hard drive where some of my writing is backed up. And then my boss is like, yeah, we're closing down in 4 weeks. So you might want to start looking for a job. And I'm just like, fuck, dude. Dude. Why do we do that? Why do we like to fucking, like, not fantasize, but why do we like to imagine, you know, what would it be like if I fucking got butt fucked tomorrow? You know, what would it be like if I just got fucking pushed off my bike and shot in the face? And then I lost my 2 eyes and half of my nose. Like, what would it be like to go on a date like that? Would people still love me? I remember I used to watch Oprah with my mom when I was like 8. And dude, you shouldn't let your kid watch Oprah with you at 8 years old. It was like I would be sitting there trying to do like my fucking cursive homework, right? Just practice my cursive. Just fucking like doing like the L's, you know, you just do the same thing over and over. And then there's this woman where my husband was found dead in there, you know, like, and my mom's like getting emotional, and I look over and I'm like, Mom, are you okay? And she's like, yeah, it's just like fucking. And you know, I vividly remember one of the Oprah episodes where there's this woman that was chased by a man with a gun. And the woman was like, Oprah was like, so tell everyone how you got away. What are some tips for, you know, when you're being shot at? And she was like, well, the first thing you want to do is you want to run in zigzag, because that makes it harder for the shooter to get you, right? And turns out, dude, no, it doesn't. And no, it doesn't. You know, you run in a straight line, dude. odds are the guy's gonna miss. But if you're running fucking zigzag, dude, you know, bullets coming this way, dude. Bullets coming this way. You're running here. If you go in a straight line, it just whizzes by you. But if you're fucking running and the bullet's coming this way and you're running in zigzag, you're just gonna fucking get clipped, dude. Eventually, it's like you're spreading yourself. But anyway, you know, this was back in the early 2000s where nobody knew fucking shit. But I remember watching Oprah. You know, guy would come on a show just like his whole skin is burned off. It's just like a fucking basically a walking skeleton, and he's like, you know, like fucking like. I just look at these people and I'm like, dude, you know, I would be devastated at 8 years old. I'm listening to a man barely understand what he's saying, talk about how to find hope for your life when your plane crashes and it melts half your face off. You know, it was I would get scared, dude. I remember I just would didn't want to go to my room after it. Was like, can we watch something else now, Mom? I know it's 11 p.m. on a weeknight, but I don't want the shooter to come to my room. So I don't even know how I got on that topic, but anyway, man, it's fucking going to Cancun. I was gonna go to dude. Remember when I used to sneeze every episode, dude? I just remember that. It has been a while. My buddies and I tried to go to a shooting range yesterday, and you know, I call ahead, and the guy's like, I said, do I need to make a reservation? And he's like, nah, if you're not a member, it's walk-ins only. And we roll up at fucking 7:15. They don't close until 9. And the guy at the range check-in is like, yep, not doing rentals anymore tonight, boys. We're understaffed. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? You fucking sitting here for the last 15 minutes looking at your phone. You cunt. You know, and it was like a half-hour drive to get there too. It's just like, come on, man. Get your shit together, you know? And so I didn't get to shoot a gun, man, but I really wanted to. And now I'm going to have to wait until I get back from Mexico. But I just really want to learn how to operate a weapon so that I can buy one. You know, I want to become well-versed in handgun usage so that I can buy one and feel safe with it. You know, this is how you store it. This is what you don't, where you don't want to store it. This is where you do. This is what you do when you hear a noise and you want to use it. You know, this is what you do before you use it. This is where, you know, this is where it's legal to use it. This is where it's illegal. This is where if you kill the guy, you go to prison. This is where, you know, if he's in your yard, you fucking shoot him 10 times. But it was crazy, man, because they have like weapons on display, and they have this little like glass cabinet thing, and it had all the guns that I use in Call of Duty. And I was just like, whoa, dude. Like, whoa, dude. I'd never seen a fucking MP5 in real life, you know? I'd never seen a fucking P90 or like, you know, it was so bizarre. It's so cool too. I took a fucking picture next to it like a nerd. But I am dude, work has just been so slow that it's hard to come up with funny stories, right? There was this one guy. There was this fucking we rarely get phone calls But I got this phone call 2 days ago, and I answer it. And I'm like, hey, what's up? What can I get for you? And the guy orders. He's got a deep voice too. And then I say, all right, I'll have that ready in like 20 minutes. What name should I put it under? And he said, um, he said, put it under juice. Spell Jus. Put it under juice. Spell Jus. And I almost fucking giggled after he said it. Because, dude, whose name is Juice that isn't in prison? Put it under juice. That's the whole story. That's the whole story. That is the whole story. I got 10 more minutes. My coworker today asked me why I quit smoking, and it made me reflect on it a little bit. Why I don't smoke weed anymore. I've had a few guests on, and old friends from back in college, and they still smoke, and they were like, dude, next time we see you, we gotta get high. So I'm getting a little bit of that, not pressure, maybe it's pressure, but just that peer pressure, of like some of my friends I've been around with that have been smoking, and it's like it's starting to appear in my life again. I still haven't used it, but I've been reflecting on, like, because there's been this hidden voice inside of me that's like, dude, maybe you could get away with just like one hit, like this little minion that's just like, maybe it wouldn't be so bad for you if you took a fucking hit of a joint every now and then. And I've been reflecting, like, why did I quit? So that in a way I can remind myself of why I don't actually want to go back. So my coworker asked me, I'm thinking about maybe quitting. What prompted that decision? And I said, it was a lot of things, but the main reason was avoidance. Right? I was avoiding a lot of things, primarily my feelings. So if I came home from work and I was just like, fuck, dude, like, just my body ached and I was tired, I was depleted, the first thing I did was smoke so that I could just fucking like, and that kept me at my last job in a toxic work environment for longer than it should have. And so it's avoidance. I was avoiding some things that I needed to face. And then also I was, I get social anxiety sometimes, and I would knowingly go into situations that I knew were going to that I knew I was going to feel socially anxious in, that I knew I was going to feel anxious in. And I was like, I'm going to get high because I don't want to feel this way. And then I would get more anxious, and I would actually, it would be more noticeable, right? Because most of the time when I'm socially anxious, it's not that noticeable. But if I'm high, dude, I'm just like fucking, like, I'm not even listening to you. That's the kind of high that I get. If I get high, dude, I'm not even listening to you. That's what I get. And so it was that, and it was, right, like I would smoke just because sometimes it's like, oh, I've got free time. And then I would just get high because And it's like, why do you get high? You know, why can't you just be with yourself? Oh, I'm going to go on a walk. Let me get high first so that I can enjoy the walk. Why don't you just enjoy the walk? You know, why can't you just go on a walk with yourself? Why do you have to go on a walk with marijuana? And so what is, I guess, those are the reasons that I quit. It's like, it's not, I think the argument for like, oh, well, it's not, I'm not using it to avoid is bullshit. Which isn't to say that it's like you should be ashamed of yourself or anything like that, right? Sometimes it's a perfectly fine thing to avoid, right? I do it all the time. Sometimes I get home and I just fall on my bed, look at my phone, and then all of a sudden 2 hours have gone by and I'm listening to a fucking podcast about like the history of the Mediterranean Sea. And I'm like, dude, I said I was going to shower first thing when I got home, right? And now look at me. So, those things happen, right? But I think that smoking weed is always avoidance unless there's some therapeutic like therapy modalities with it. Because I'm sure it would be beneficial for me to go into a therapy session feeling the anxiety and paranoia of the weed high, because then it's like, all right, let's explore this, dude. Right? So if you use it like that, I guess it could be considered not avoidance. But so for me, there is no argument for, well, I just use it for fun. It's like, learn how to have fun without drugs, motherfucker. I just drink when I'm out with my friends. Learn how to have fun when you're not fucking drunk, you know? And so yeah, that's it's avoidance, right? Avoidance is just a blanket statement for why I quit. And so what is it that's been coming up for me, I guess? That's sort of, and it's been a very, very minor voice, but it's been there, for the last month and a half, 2 months, I would say I've had 4 or 5 moments where maybe 5 to 7, maybe like 10 moments. I've had 10 moments over the last 60 days where I'm sitting or doing whatever and I just think like, dude, I miss weed, dude. But then it just goes away pretty quickly, right? And what I guess I miss is that it helped me write poetry, because it does sort of like lower my fucking, it just like fucking like, if I'm by myself, this is what I told my coworkers, like the time I enjoyed smoking the most is when I would just have like the day off and it's like a beautiful day and I'm just like sitting in my bedroom on the floor writing poetry by hand. And just like, dude, I don't have to answer any texts. I don't have to do anything. But even then, I'll hear footsteps outside my apartment and I'm like, they're coming for me. It's like, who's they? Who's fucking coming for you? I'm like, God, they can smell the weed. I'm going to go to jail. Like, and I don't like having those kinds of, like, I don't like manufacturing anxiety. Like, if I hear footsteps and I'm not high, I don't think, oh, they're coming for me, dude. So why am I, it's like watching a horror movie. Why am I scaring myself? And so I don't know what it is that's been coming up. Maybe it's just like I've been spending more time just not doing anything. And maybe I'm not having enough like play, right? Like the sun's not as strong anymore. Winter is coming. It's going to be it's cold again. So it just doesn't feel like my environment right now. And maybe I'm trying to escape my environment. Because if I get high, who gives a fuck what the weather's like? It's cloudy up in this bitch, So yeah, man, I don't know. I have to reflect more on that during the next episode. But it's just been on my mind, and I think it's important that I start to talk about it a little bit so that it doesn't become this, like, it doesn't fester, right? And become this fucking thing that I'm like, oh, I'm thinking about smoking again. I need to hide this. I can't even have the thoughts because then people are going to know that I'm a fraud. It's like, chill out, man. It's been almost a year. It's fucking natural, and even if you like, a relapse teaches you something. And so even if I did fucking relapse, it's like I would bounce back, man. I would fucking bounce back like Bugs Bunny in Space Jam. That's the podcast, man. That is the potty. And thank you guys for listening. As usual, if you haven't already, please subscribe, like the video, do all that fun stuff on YouTube. If you want a writing prompt weekly and are interested in a little bit of, extra content that I don't share anywhere else, you can go to sendfox.com/NIKOAGF and subscribe to my newsletter. It is a blast. And, sometimes I'll share other people's content, like podcasts that changed my life or books that changed my life. And there's a weekly writing prompt in there that's easy as fuck. You just, it just is like, write about this and do it this way and write 500 words. And if you want to email me it, you can, and maybe I'll share it in the next email. Or I could give you feedback or whatever, man. It's just a way to, a lot of people feel like they need to have some reason to write. And so I'm giving you that reason. And yeah, happy Halloween. And I will see you next week. Thank you for listening.